Well, apparently my camera wasn't recording, so that kind of sucks. So what's happened is I took the clamps off of this guy. It had been sitting for much more than 24 hours. It had been about 3 weeks. I had forgotten to clean these spots up like I did these, so I just quick dremeled these off to get all the excess glue and random little wood nuttons off. One problem I did find with it was it's square this way. I just measured the two diagonals and they both turned out to be within like 1/8 of each other, so that's good. But you notice it rocks. There's a twist in it that I missed when I was gluing it up. I don't think it's bad enough that I need to redo stuff, but I'll either have to add a foot to one of the legs or sand one of the two tall legs off just a little bit just to keep it from rocking on the floor. So that was that. Then on to these guys, I was just cleaning them up. So they started out like that, if you can see. There's just a bunch of glue and torn out wood that was on the ends. So I've just been running them on the belt sander here to flatten out, or take all the old glue and wood that was ripped out off and give me a nice flat surface. So I'll finish this one quick. So these were originally put on with nails, and that was actually all that was holding this whole thing together up until I decided to fix it. So they were using just some little nails like this. Instead, this time I'm going to go with some number 4 by 1 inch Phillips wood screws that I had laying around. If I were to just drive those screws to this piece, it would totally split the end of this open. As you can see where this nail hole is already done. So I'm going to pre-drill a clearance hole and maybe countersink these boards and then just screw them straight into the frame where they belong. So let's get started on that. So I'm going to use a 7/64 drill, which is just slightly smaller than the outside diameter of the threads on these screws. And my plan is just to follow the holes of the nails. So I'm going to use these as nail holes as pilot holes, and that way it will hopefully line up with the nail holes in the base piece, and I don't have to re-drill those pilot holes. Just like that, and in theory, yeah, it's a tight fit, but it's not splitting the wood open to try and drive the screw through. So I think I'm gonna be happy with that. Actually, no, I'm gonna go up one more size, just so this is truly a fit through here, because what we really want to do is have this screw pull this board into the other piece to get a nice strong glue joint, and if it threads into this piece, when you hit the other piece it's going to push off a little bit and then thread in this piece. You'll never get it nice and tight. So give me a second. So this is a 1/8 inch drill now. Follow that same hole through. And now it's totally just a slip fit, but it's not so big that it rocks around in there. Originally I was going to countersink these heads, but looking at it now, they sit pretty flush to the parts. I don't think there's a need to. So here we go. Ones like this one, you can see where it split all the way down to the hole. Again, the reason why I'm pre-drilling these instead of just driving the screws through. Okay, here's number 4. He goes right there. So what I gotta do, get this guy all coated up in glue, get it so it's sort of flush on both sides with the top, and then drive those screws back through. Way easier. Okay, for the final trick, figuring out this wobble. So, if I draw 2 straight lines through here, they intersect at about the middle. Yep. So, to get these 2 legs here sitting flat on this surface, I need to take, if I find the center point of the wobble, right about there, to lower that the distance of this, so these 2 legs sit flat, I have to take twice as much off this leg because it's twice the distance away. But since it's wobbling, instead of equally splitting the distance, if I go all the way to one side, this distance is also twice the distance of the center. So if I cut off this gap here off of this leg, I'm dripping glue, I should end up with all 4 legs on the bench at the same time. Ugh. So the next question is, how much is that number? about 180. Okay, I gotta do some cleaning and setup, and then I'll be back. Okay, excuse the mess. But I think so the curve on my blade is about 100 thou. So in theory, 2 blade widths, I should be good. Now let's see if I can clean up. I double checked this and this are the long legs, so I'm not screwing that up. And here is one. So that much over a blade width. Let's see how that sits. And I'm going to stop right there because that is about perfect. So back over here. So I just cut a swipe off this leg, and now this thing no longer rocks. So it looks like either my measurements or my logic was off by a little bit. Hence why I only cut 1 blade width to start with, because I sort of thought this might be a problem. But all that's left is to put the top cover back on. Now I did not mark the rotation of the top with respect to the legs. That's kind of fail on my part. I don't think it's going to matter that much. So since this is just a thin piece of plywood, I'm hand driving these screws back in, mostly because I don't want to strip that out. It's basically just give it a little bit of downward pressure and tighten to a loose hand tight. Again, if you get it too tight, they're just going to strip out, pull through and strip out. Oh, it goes where that goes. Now the moment of truth. No more wobbles. It doesn't rock. It doesn't wobble. That's in much better shape than when I started, so I think this one's a success. This will go back up in my entryway after some beating and dusting outside. And I have my stool back. I'll probably let it sit here for a day or two just to let the glue on the 4 corner joints dry up. But yeah, that's it. There you have it. 1 footstool put back together. And next week is the conference that's been sucking up all my time. So hopefully I can get back to working on that guy, as at least one person has been waiting for. So there you have it. Till next time. Bye-bye.